Since the first anniversary last year of the horrific October 7th attacks on Israeli citizens by Hamas and the illegal and barbaric collective punishment by the Israeli government of the Palestinian people in Gaza, I've been urging the Welsh Government to bring a statement or debate to the Senedd on the situation, which has changed and escalated vastly since Plaid Cymru first brought a debate to the Senedd, which backed our calls then for a ceasefire. But I've been frustrated and dismayed by their unwillingness since then to reflect or respond to the concerns voiced in every community in Wales about the actions of the Israeli government. On 3 occasions, I have brought forward motions with cross-party support to try and ensure that happened. No response save one written statement or only when pushed by questions. No heed paid to all those thousands of Welsh citizens who have protested against the war in Gaza in every part of Wales and here at the Senedd. Plaid Cymru now bring this motion as an opposition debate because the commitment made by the government in response to requests for a statement to, and I quote, look to ways in which we can discuss, debate the situation in Gaza in the Senedd have not been honoured. While foreign policy is not devolved, the Future Generations Commissioner has urged the Welsh Government to show more leadership on this matter. In his letter to the First Minister, the Commissioner said the Welsh Government has the opportunity to act in partnership with the UK Government to represent Welsh values on the international stage with regard to Israel's attacks on the people of Gaza, in accordance with its statutory commitments to be a globally responsible nation under the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. But the Senedd has not heard a full response to his calls, let alone an embracing of them. And the people of Wales remember that the government did not shy away from making its voice heard on other recent conflicts, reiterating time and again on the record their unequivocal solidarity with the Ukrainian people in the face of Putin's aggression. But we heard no such condemnation of Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, whose forces have turned homes, businesses, schools, hospitals, and tens of thousands of women and children to dust. UN reports show that no other conflicts killed a higher number of children in 1 year. Where was the outrage at Netanyahu's aggression? Where was the solidarity with the Palestinian people? Then we had the momentous and hopeful news earlier this year that the first phase of a ceasefire had been agreed, but still silence. The Government of Wales, unwilling to ensure the voice of our nation is heard clearly, advocating for peace and justice for the Palestinian people now and in the future at this crucial juncture. Why? Because the Welsh Government is unwilling to call on their sister Westminster Labour Government to stop selling arms to Israel, even though that is required under international law. That's the truth of it. Never mind party before country, we witnessed party before international humanitarian law. And that's why they've deleted the second point of our motion. Your amendment states support for the rule of law. You cannot support the rule of law if you're not willing to condemn Trump's proposals to depopulate Gaza as ethnic cleansing, because those despicable proposals are in clear contravention of international law. The Future Generations Commissioner reminded the Welsh Government of their responsibility in his letter and urged them to take urgent action, including advocating for the cessation of arms sales, because the current fragile ceasefire is just the first step towards a lasting and just peace, and it must be supported and protected, and that means preventing actions that contravene international humanitarian law, rather than allowing the continuation of the blockade, occupation and oppression of Palestinians. And Wales has a part to play in that. And that's why I'd like to hear exactly how the Welsh Government has ensured it's taken and is taking every measure possible within its competence to ensure it does not contribute to potential war crimes through direct or indirect connections, partnerships or funding. That's why the motion calls for a full review of public sector procurement and investment. We must ensure no Welsh public money, whether through contracts, investments or partnerships, supports companies complicit in unlawful military action or occupation. In answer to an FOI, Amnesty Wales has found that the Welsh Government does not undertake a human rights due diligence process. So how are you ensuring your trade and procurement policies, funding and partnerships are compliant with international law? Finally, Llywydd, I want to speak about aid, the withholding of which has played such a large part in the death and suffering illegally inflicted on the innocents of Gaza. It's welcome the Welsh Government has now added to their donation to the DEC Middle East appeal, so the total is now £200,000. You gave £4 million to the DEC appeal for Ukraine. You must see how that sends an unfortunate message to communities in Wales with links to the Palestinians of Gaza. So will you commit further humanitarian support for Gaza? Hoffwn orffen gyda eirgain haf o achub y plant Cymru mewn erthygl ardderchog ynghylch Grawn Barn. Mwyn gofalu bod cymorth dyngarol yn gallu gwneud gwahaniaeth ac yn achub bywydau, bod sefydlogrwydd yn cael ei greu, bod heddwch yn bosibilrwydd real a bod atebolrwydd am droseddau yn erbyn plant. Mae'n rhaid sicrhau bod y cydoediad yn un parhaol. Mae rhaid i Gymru chwarae rhan yn hynny. Diolch.